Hello, hi, and welcome everyone to a very special No Lodge Game podcast. Today we have the one and only, the legendary wife, mother, daughter, sister, the legendary, my sister-in-law. TJ?
No.
Okay. Welcome to the podcast. How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel nervous.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, well, don't be nervous. It's just us. It's just you and me.
Yeah.
And your dog and your husband and Rizzy and the cameras and the mics, and that's just us. That's it. That's it. Yeah, and besides, we're not famous enough for anybody to watch this. Remember that.
Yes, that
Until one of us blows up, and then we have no shortage of viewers looking in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But thanks for coming. Thanks for coming down from downstairs. Thanks for coming up from downstairs. So that way we can talk and just kind of get to know a little bit about your life. So I guess the first question would be, what dared you to even be sitting here today into a microphone with me?
So I think it's Nomi. We talk about some deep topics. He hears me and he always encourages me to talk about this because someone else might hear it, someone else might benefit from it.
Okay.
So
very noble.
He's been pushing me for this. So
okay, all right. Is it because you have a lot more to share than Nomi at times, or do you feel like you have a word that you want to get across? Or no offense, but
no, I'm trying to figure things out as I go. Lots of in the past 5 years, lots of things have changed for me. So used to be very easy, normal, very spoiled type of life, and then things suddenly changed, right?
I see.
So since then, I have been trying to figure things out. I've been reading, learning, meditating, looking for signs, talking to Noman about things.
Okay.
So just everything together, we talk about it all the time. And he was like, hey, I'm sure that other people are what you are going through. So
Interesting. So it's interesting that you bring up that you've been reading, meditating, and just kind of looking at the more philosophies of life. So was there at one point in your life where none of that was happening?
Yeah. I mean,
what time period?
Up till 2020.
Okay.
I was just you don't really think about things until you are forced to. So I got whatever I wanted. I graduated. I had a good job. Everything was going fine, and you don't really think about other things while you
the deeper stuff, so to speak.
Yeah, because it's like you have everything. Everything is very materialistic at that point.
So there was no soul searching before 2020, or was there
not really soul searching? I would say that I was still religious. I would attend prayers and do all the rituals, but if you asked me about faith, soul searching, then not as much, because
it's very surface level.
It was never really needed, right? I never had any type of spiritual crisis or trauma or nothing that I had to overcome, because everything was served on a platter.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like that is when most people go into soul searching, when things go wrong, right? When things are right, we don't really. It's good to do it when things are right, because then you're preparing yourself, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, no, it does. I just think it's very subjective in the sense of okay, so you're saying that growing up a little bit more of a silver platter lifestyle, so to speak, and now you're saying after marriage, after lockdown, after everything, you find yourself kind of searching a bit more, so to speak. Okay, so what's that like? How's that been? Because it's been about 4 years since COVID. Do you feel like you made some progress in that area, or
Yes.
Okay.
But like I'm nowhere close to
Okay.
where, I feel like I should.
Okay. So let's. Okay, I have a question then. So I'm 28 years old. I'm very old. I'm getting there. You know what I mean?
You think 28 is old?
I feel it. My knees, not my back.
Okay.
Sorry. No.
Okay.
That was a low blow, man.
Just,
Okay.
I had to throw a few jabs
You
in
think
there.
28 is?
Well, I feel like I'm getting there. You know what I mean? Like almost there, so to speak.
You're not even close.
I'm not even close. Oh, well, thanks. But I guess the question would be, so you're saying at one point, it's like, you're young, you're having fun, and then now it's marriage, you have a baby, and I'm pretty sure your life has completely changed from even 6 years ago to now, or even a little bit before marriage. So
yeah,
I guess the question is, have you gone through like more than one midlife crisis, or has it just been one, so to speak? Or is it even a midlife crisis?
What do you mean by a midlife?
Midlife crisis would be in the sense of like, typically someone in your shoes would be like, you know what, this is what we want. Like, for example, me, right? I don't have a house. I don't have marriage or a kid. In my mind, I'm thinking, all right, that's the step I want to be at. And then maybe happiness or success can be found. You are there and you're saying, no, there's still a bit more searching to do. So, what do you think?
I don't. I don't think I've had. I don't think I've had a midlife crisis.
Okay.
I just feel like all the changes around us have changed who.
I see.
All the effects of COVID, loss of loved ones, so much depression, so much anxiety.
Okay.
The way people have become due to this, you just that feel good sense is not.
Okay. Okay.
No, but I don't think that would be considered a midlife.
No, not in your case. No.
No, like I'm actually very grateful for everything I have, and I feel like we have a long way to go, but Noman and I couldn't ask for a better life than what we all.
Yeah, that's true. We, thank God we have everything we wanted. We're in a sense of people's eyes, we would be like, hey, they're good.
Yeah,
they're good.
They're like they're well off. So
they have a baby. Okay. They're good. They have a house and everything. It's more the I think the thing is, it's more of like a deeper level in as where is our destination?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And on that destination, there's also things that happened in your past you're dealing with now while you're trying to get to your destination. So those things, kind of hurt and help you in a way to get there. And so those are things that Anam has experienced, you know, and that's what she wants people to know about.
Okay.
How she's dealt with it and how she thinks it should be dealt with. And people who have not gone through things like this, how should they react towards people who have?
Okay. So then that brings a good question. If someone, so what is your advice to someone who just can't find the will to keep moving forward when all hope seems lost? How do you get up the next morning and just and go? Right. So if you can kind of on that.
That's a tough one because I have been in that situation, and just you have to do it for the person you.
Okay.
And I feel like anytime you are hurt, it is an opportunity for you to.
Okay.
I used to hurt is a punishment. It's a punishment. Maybe you didn't supposed to do.
You used to think that?
I used to think, and then I would blame it on God or the higher being. Like why did you do this to me? Like, I did everything I was supposed to do, like I pray, I give charity, I help others. But I have learned that you hurt because you need to grow. Because you need to grow. And when you grow, you can help others grow.
Okay. So you feel like the cause of the hurt that's been not given to you, but the cause of hurt that's been, brought onto you is a motive for you to learn something and teach it to others?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's
But
noble.
at the same time, dealing it with yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that's the hardest struggle here.
No one can help you. You have to work through it yourself, and it takes a lot of time.
Do you feel like you've kind of passed that?
No, I'm still in it.
Okay.
I'm still in it. That's the thing, right? I feel like people around us, they expect to.
I see. From others or from themselves?
Like for example, if something happened, like for example, I lost my dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
People expect you to bounce back really quickly.
Really?
Like they will be like, sorry for your loss and this and that, and then they will that's all they do. They don't understand how you are processed, right? It's a major change.
And people who haven't gone through it, they're kind of like, oh, it's all part of God's plan. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, right? Keep praying. Everything will be fine. You'll get over it.
It almost seems very cliche.
It's like, what are you saying at this point? Do you understand anything?
Do you feel like after that happened, the circle around you, whether it be friends, family, whoever, felt like how they act around you changed? Now they have to walk on eggshells, so to speak, around you, or are they just like almost brushing it off, like they did their due diligence of saying whatever they say and let's just move forward? Or
I don't know. I felt very disconnected to everyone. And
family too?
Well, so the thing is, when something like this happens, it's hard to talk about it with your family because they are going through the same thing. Right? So you are basically trying to remain strong in front of your family, right? But internally, like, you can open up to people who are very close to you. But the problem is that those people they don't know what you're going through. So sometimes the stuff they say causes you to shut down more than like open up, right? So, it's like I'm sure there is a reason to this. Everyone has to go one day, like, keep praying. And so, like,
they're only using their own perspective.
Those are not comforting words. And I used to say that to people too. But now I realize, right, that you won't know the hurt until you actually go through it. And I hope no one goes through it, right? But the reality is that at one point or another, everyone has to go through it.
Okay. So you say you're still going through it, and you said it's kind of brought you to a level of finding something new, or is it what has that search been like? Because you said reading, you said meditating. How are both of those going for you? Anything that you've read?
I want to sort of chime in a little bit on this thing. So what I have noticed is what she started reading books more. Mm-hmm. And I think what she's looking for, and you can obviously correct me if I'm wrong enough, is there an afterlife? I want to know if there is one, and if there is, show me. How do I know it is? Is like give me signs of there's something there. Like with the loss I had, I know that it's not over. Like there's more to this than just this life. I want to know that, because when something like that happens to you, your faith gets shook to the core.
Yeah.
Like you stop believing and start asking questions about, is all of this going to happen? Is this real? Is this, I'm like, what am I praying towards? What is my faith like now? Like, is it even there at this point? Like you get shook because it's such a tragic thing, right?
Right.
That you have to go through. So in that regard, I feel like what she's looking for is, I want to know what there is after this life.
I see.
And that the loved one is okay, and they know I'm here, and they're there for me, they're guarding me, they're looking after me. Is that a thing?
Okay.
So it can go two ways, right? So it's established. Thing life-changing happened, and it has brought many questions. You're questioning your faith.
Right.
You're questioning, why am I doing all this? Like, why am I praying? Why am I practicing whatever, right? So there are two ways you can go about it. One would be, you go into depression, go into anxiety, you stop praying. And initially I feel like everyone does.
Right.
The second is that you begin you begin to go into spiritual aspect of things. You try to do more searching, and you try to find your answers, because when we're praying, we're asking, right? We're not trying to find answers.
Right.
So
right.
I feel like when you ask those questions and when you really do the work, those answers begin to open up.
See.
And your questions are answered in a very like symbolic sort of a way. It's not like, someone who's passed can come and tell you, hey, I'm okay, like it's cool up here.
Yeah.
But you do get those types of answers just in.
I see. And what ways has any of those answers came to you, even in small forms to you, or?
Yeah. There have been a few instances, right?
Yeah. You've told me many examples.
I mean, if you're okay with it, is there one example you would like to share? Like maybe of someone who could be, listening in, and they could just, maybe they could start looking for those signs too.
Yeah. What should I share? I don't know.
Bird.
Huh?
The bird?
Oh, the bird. Okay. So, I recently started to read this book. It's called Signs, and it's basically a compilation of stories of people and their loved ones passed. And there was something, there was a sign or something that was very particular to them, and they would receive these signs or see these signs in a very obvious manner, right? Over and over again, until you finally accept that, oh my God, it has to be them, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, like every time I think of like a beautiful white bird, like a majestic bird, I would think of my dad. And I'd be like, because I would have birds fly like really, really close when I was driving or something. And that never used to happen before, like right in front of my windshield.
Wow.
And I would be like, oh my God, like this is so scary,
Your car specifically.
Yeah, my car specifically. And I'm like, could this be like my dad saying hi to me or something? I don't know, like it sounds crazy, but like those types of thoughts would come to me.
If you don't mind me like interrupting there, but that's intuition right there. So the moment, like, for example, something like that happens and your mind immediately goes there.
Yeah.
The chance of that being real is actually very true.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because there's something, because your soul knows what your mind doesn't, right? Because the soul is all knowing, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So because you felt it immediately, it means that's what it means.
Yeah.
It could possibly mean that, right? So, and if it brings you peace, brings you even just an ounce of comfort for a split moment, that's right. That right there is very beautiful.
Yeah. So like, I would always like think about it, but obviously there's no way to know, right? So then like, I started to read this book, and it said that one way is like birds, butterflies, dragonflies, stuff like that, like sometimes they are a sign, right? So I told myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to work. If I see a bird, then that means this is true.
Okay.
Like that means this is true. So
Absolutely.
like, I knew it was kind of like childish or foolish of me to think this, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
So I was driving and no sign of a bird anywhere.
Wow.
Nothing. So then I'm like, okay, like this is just.
Was this to work? Driving to work?
Yeah, driving to work.
Okay.
Because that is when I would see it the most. And my dad would always call me when I was driving to work. Every morning he would call me. Yeah. He would call me and he would be like, hey, what are you up to?
He was actually really good with that. He would call everybody in random certain times of the day, almost every day. Testing. Okay. It's working. Yeah. He would call me random times as well. Like he'll know, oh, I'm off work. Let me just give him a call really quick.
It'd always be at the right time.
At the exact same
it's the
time.
most convenient time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So like he would do that to, I think, Anam's brother, like all of his children, me, whenever, once I was married to her, he started calling me. So he knew, okay, like, here's a.
So your dog just like.
she ripped one up. Like, oh, y'all talking about this?
My mouth was open too.
Yeah, so go ahead, Anam.
So there was no sign of a bird, and I was like, okay, like this is all in my head, most likely, right? So then I go and on the wallpaper there is a picture of this really silly bird just staring, and it's like, and it's a colorful bird, right? So I'm like, this is just a coincidence. This is not a white bird, I just started to work. And then after working for like a few months, I had to minimize my screen to open something else.
Right.
And then there was a white bird
wow.
on the wallpaper. Yeah. So it's like, what are the chances, right, of that happening?
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like you get these reassurances.
Yeah.
You get these.
Yes.
And it's up to you. Them. And I've received so many over the years. I think Noman can tell you about one when we went to Houston.
Oh my God!
You remember?
Yes.
Like
yes. So I mean, I could tell it.
Yeah. Please.
So we randomly. I mean, we had her dad always wanted to go take us to Aga's in Houston, one of the most best Indo-Pak or just Pakistani, I think, restaurants that you can go to. I think in the United,
I've been once. It's so good.
Yeah, in the States, like literally in America, it's probably one of the highest rated. Exactly, right? Fire. Lamb chops, that's what you go for, right?
All right.
So he would always like be like, no man, let's go to Houston. It's just random days, like, hey, let's go to. He would just talk to me. I'd be like, we can't, and just go randomly on a spontaneous, day.
Yeah.
And then the whole tragedy happened, and some time passed, and at some point we ended up going to Houston, and we ended up going to Aga's and ordering those same exact, chops.
Yeah.
So we sat there, and it was a really small table. It's just it's just me and her.
We were like, I was really sad, when we were going because I was like, man, no man, I miss him so much. Like he always wanted to bring us here, to eat the lamb chops with us. So there was a moment where I was like really, really sad during that.
Keep going. I think you should keep going. Go.
No, you do.
You do it so well.
Okay,
please.
So we're sitting and it's very busy. That restaurant is very busy. And it's just a small table with 2 chairs. And so the waiter comes and he puts the lamb chop in the middle, and randomly, like out of nowhere, he turns around, pulls another chair from the other, and he puts it in our table and doesn't say anything, and he just leaves. So there is an empty third chair sitting there while we are ready to eat.
There's only 2 chairs, and now there's a random third chair that he
just pulled out of nowhere and just stuck it in.
What?
With us.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that literally happened, and we're like, why did he do that? He didn't say.
No explanation.
He there was a family sitting behind us. There's a whole family, and they need the chair.
And he just took the chair.
And he just randomly took a chair from that table, and he pulled it into our table. As soon as the chair wasn't there when the lamb chops were ordered.
Yeah.
It was there when the lamb chops arrived at the door. Arrived at the table. Like, he grabbed the chair, pulled it towards put it in our table, and now there were 3 chairs: me, Anam, and an empty chair.
You see that right there? That right there.
Right?
I mean, come on. That's the
right?
the answer
like,
right there. It's like, this is actually a dinner for 3.
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah, exactly.
That was not a waiter. That was someone who was like,
yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
That's crazy, right?
Did you guys immediately?
Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah. Anam was like,
we knew he was
where
there.
did this chair come from? And I'm like, I just saw the waiter pull it from there and bring it here. And he's like, why did he do that? And I'm like, I don't know. And he just left. He didn't even say anything to us. And she's like, and we were just in awe.
That's
that's
legendary.
my dad. Yeah.
That's legendary right there.
Yeah.
And we talked about that over and over again. It was like, wow, did that really happen? Were we just like dreaming, or did you see it? I saw it. Did you saw it too? Right? And we were kind of like
100%.
making sure that we were like conscious at the moment.
You know, it's so interesting that you see that you're mentioning all of this, right? In the sense of like for example, you're on the way to work, and then because I'll tell you about my experience with your father, right? So in terms of you're driving to work in the morning, and then he calls, and Nomi saying that every time he calls, it's always the most convenient time. Mm-hmm. And now you're talking about the 3rd chair being there, and it's that intuition where he knows. Because okay, not to give the farm here, but there's morning prayers, right? We all know this. And on top of that, there's a section where you get to meditate. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. You know what I mean? You should check it out if you have the chance, right?
So, if you're a smiley, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? If you just check it out. So back when I used to go for like 3 years, I missed okay, I'm not gonna brag here, but in 3 years I probably missed like a month collectively.
Bragging.
Just, you know what I mean? I've earned my stripes. I'm joking.
So 3 years will be about around 1,000 days almost, and you missed 30 days of those.
Yeah.
That's legendary.
But I also had but I was also working like part time. I had no life. You know what I mean? So it was very easy to make those days. So, but every single morning, your dad would be there. Every morning, whether if it'll never be at 5 when meditation ends. It'll always be like 3:50, 3:45. Sometimes even before I got, it was very early. Every morning he would be there in the same chair every single time. And I didn't know he was your dad for like the longest time because we'd always make eye contact. You know what I mean? It's just so like, what's up? You don't care? You're there, things like that. So it was that moment. And now that I'm hearing all of this, it just kind of shows you, because I'm a huge believer in the aspect of it. Like the more you meditate, the more you can go from within. And the more you quiet your mind, the more you can be more sensible and open to understanding things when all that happens, right? Because what you're doing is that you're suppressing your mind to be able to understand the deeper things, because miracles and stuff like this is around all the time. You just have to be open to.
And I feel like by meditation, like I don't think I have formally meditated, as in like a dark room, in a
lotus position, there's incense going, and there's some meditation music, you know what I mean? Like,
not
in that sense.
Yeah, it's more just like there is a lot of noise in my mind right now. Like, for example, when you miss someone, right? Like there is a lot of noise in your mind. All of those memories, all of those times, like they run through your mind, and it's like never ending. Like it's one video clip after another, right? So there is a lot of noise. So by meditating, I mean you just like try to cancel that noise out, and you just try to connect.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm missing you. Please just help me. Let me know that you're there. You're praying, for them. You're praying for yourself, and you're like you're focused on that growth, rather than the noise around it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because we all have TikTok brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's literally like one reel after another,
exactly,
right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. When you said that.
Yeah, it's quieting that. That's meditation for me. I would love to formally meditate, but I haven't I haven't developed that skill yet. and I'm working on it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And going back to like, because I saw your dad there every single morning, and it just kind of, and now you're telling me all this, it just kind of shows me like I'm a huge believer that the more you do this, the more you're able to do things and have a stronger spiritual guide with you, right? So like you're believe it or not, like there are 3 people who were inspirations to me who I saw every single morning. And one of them was your dad. And I did not know he was your dad. I'll be honest with you, genuinely speaking. So that's it. You know, that right there is just really awe-inspiring. That, you know what, it's true. And you're putting that into the universe. Show me a sign, and it's coming. It'll come in a way that it only makes sense to you. So like some random person on the street, like third chair. Okay, they're clearly just obviously, you know what I mean. They can find some reason to disregard it, or even the white bird thing. Right? But because you're able to put sense and meaning behind it, it means something to you. So because you put that out there, you know what I mean. So I think that's noble in a sense. Wow, I got like goosebumps. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I also want to mention one of the things that helped Anam cope with this was one of the most endearing books to ever come out.
Yes,
that you haven't read yet. And that you oppose on reading, and you're just a hater. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're doing this right now on this podcast? Okay.
Harry Potter. Believe it or not, helped her cope with it.
I know a little bit of it.
It starts as a children's book.
Yes.
And every book becomes darker and darker and more adult.
Exactly.
There are so many spiritual lessons in the last Harry Potter book. There's so much about life, afterlife. So many lessons like in that last book.
I apologize. Would you guys care to say something? I just saw you disgrace to all millennials. You wrote on your laptop. I'm sorry. Please continue.
I have to agree with them if you haven't read the last book. I'm so sorry.
Fine, I'll give it to you on this one. You get one. Everybody gets one. You get your one.
But that last book, man, like it answered all my questions.
Really?
In a weird way, it like helped her answer everything she was thinking about. Why? Why did this happen?
Yeah.
Where is everything now? How is everything in place now? Like what happens after?
J.K. Rowling is woke, in my opinion. I think she knows what she's doing.
and that, you know, your parents are always with you. They're always watching over you, whether they're physically with you or not. And when your time comes, I feel like your parents are going to be there to help you, just like in the last book, what Harry Potter was. So I think that book really helped understand this whole concept.
Good. That's wonderful. I'm glad you're able to find solace for that. You know? I mean, that's really good. You know, you mentioned something about depression and how people like after that event happened, you know, and everybody just kind of like everybody else moves on fairly quickly. You know what I mean? And you're just left there to process all these feelings and just kind of go through everything in a sense. How would you want people to, I mean, for lack of better words, treat you? Even like just after all of this, I mean, because you said like the words of reassurance don't really help, and it's fast, and it's like
I feel like sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
Sympathy is when people happy. I feel like that.
Okay.
Empathize if you've gone through.
Yeah.
So like now when if I see that went through a similar, I kind of just not what to say, or not even say, like just
how to be,
okay. And you know, the worst part is when people like, I can't believe, because it can happen.
Yeah.
So I feel like don't be
right.
Be genuine.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what to say, it's okay. All you have is, I don't know what to say, but I love you and I'm here for you. And if you want to talk, please talk to me. Like I'll listen to you.
Yeah.
Like those words, like be open to people. When you say things like, I'm sorry this happened, you close that door. Because it's like you feel bad for me.
Yeah.
Like,
do you feel like, in a way, and I'm not saying this is everybody, I'm not, but in a way, do you feel, your dog is very just on something today. Do you feel like that some people may have reached out just to kind of, I mean, this sounds bad, but just to maybe check off a list in the sense of like, oh, I just did my due diligence. We said what we needed to say, and then that's it, and then just move on. Because you're very well known, not just like with so many friends, but also in our community. You're very well known. So everybody must have come in all at once.
Yeah.
You know, and what's seems genuine, what's not, and everyone. You're getting so many different words. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Hey, like, do you feel like? Because you're saying that for a reason.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
correct me if I'm wrong, Anam, but I would say people like that would be better than the people who keep coming back and keep saying the same thing. Really? It's like, I did my due diligence. Here it is, my one-liner, and now I'm away. That gives her space. Is what she really needs. Space. Yeah. It's like, okay, you did your thing. Thank you. Okay, thank you for saying that. Yeah. Move on with your life, right? Let me deal with it now in my own way.
Absolutely.
Opposed to people who keep coming back, keep saying the same thing over and over again, and giving no other context, no other helpful things to talk about. And it's like you're already closed the door and you're keeping it closed, as opposed to someone who already said it and left.
Well, has anyone ever expected you to just, all right, come on, get up, move on, like, let's keep going?
No, not like that. But the thing is that, like, when people tell you, when people close that door, they kind of sorry. When people close the door, they kind of like you know that they're talking about you, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, oh, like, poor Anam. Or, you know, poor Anam's mom.
They have to like,
and you don't like, that itself is very
an energy that makes you feel like, what? Yeah. You're very helpless right now. Like,
yeah. And it shouldn't be that way, right?
Right, correct.
The reason, no one knows why you're going through this, but there is a reason for going through, right? So if anything, you should be like, oh my God, you are like so much stronger. Like, I am so happy to, you know, see you, like, you got this, you know, like that sort of energy versus like I feel so bad for her.
Let's dwell on the pain.
Look at how much weight she's lost, or, you know, look at like, look at how she's looking right now, you know, like, all of those sorts of comments need to stop. Like I said, like, people don't need your sympathy. People don't need like, if you want to help, be open.
Yeah. Treat me as a person. Understand that I'm just going through something right now, but still be there and just still act normal. Let's keep moving because life keeps going, you know? And it's, have you ever seen Winnie the Pooh? Has everyone seen Winnie the Pooh? Eeyore. You guys know who Eeyore is?
I'm not much educated on.
Was that the like donkey?
Now you know how I feel. Yes. Now you know how I feel when you guys talk about Harry Potter.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Yes, or Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Right? So, sure. anyways, in Winnie the Pooh, everybody knows that there's like some very, you know, colorful character, the tiger, and there's Winnie the Pooh, there's Piglet, and also the rabbit, and they're all always like, you know, up and then there's going, right? And then there's Eeyore. Eeyore is the donkey who just a little bit more on the depressed side, and there's the moral to this. There's a reason why I'm mentioning this. So more on the depressed side, and always like is always in that state of mind. But the beautiful part about it, and I saw this online, is that even though that Eeyore was depressed, everybody still hung out with Eeyore. Didn't expect Eeyore to act any different. They didn't expect Eeyore to do anything, or didn't even sympathize with Eeyore. They just treated Eeyore like an actual being, and just kept going. Just still included him into everything. Still move forward, and I feel like that's how it should be.
Yeah.
If I'm going through a very challenging time in my life, I still want to come to this podcast, and I still want to have fun. I may be depressed, I may be mopey, I may be like this, but let's still move forward, right? Don't expect anything from me. Don't expect me to feel better. but just include me and make me feel welcomed and just keep going forward.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Good vibes, good wishes, prayers,
Good company, yeah.
Prayers, good company. I feel like that is so much more helpful than just it feels really bad when it does. It's not a good feeling when someone.
Yeah. It is, but I mean, I'd say from outside in, whenever I am talking to you, you've well, let's just say this. It's been a while since, after, passing of your dad, and then when I met you, it's been like quite a while since we met.
Mm-hmm.
Seen you, spoken to you for a little bit, but we didn't really. I feel like our relationship really didn't get so deep until more recently, so to speak. And just by looking at you, it's like I look at you as a very strong woman, genuinely speaking. Just after everything that you've been through, and just one thing after another with marriage, what happened, and then also having a baby, and then still just living this life. It's like, wow.
So you have to live on a day-to-day basis.
100%.
Right? So that's another thing that I have learned. I used to be very like by this time I should have this done. Like
right.
Everything in my life went as planned until it didn't, right? So graduated at 18, got into the school I wanted to get into, got my bachelor's exactly at 22, did my job, got my master's exactly 2 years. Like everything happened as planned in my life, and then suddenly everything changed, right? So that was a very big like your life can change overnight like that. Like it was unknown to me. Like you cannot even imagine, right, Noman?
Yeah.
Like, how could this happen?
Do you feel stronger?
I do. I feel stronger and I feel weaker. It's both, right? I feel stronger because I have overcome, and I feel weaker because now I'm aware of the fact that your life can throw a curveball at you at any minute, at any second. So that makes you feel vulnerable. Like, I am stronger, but I'm also more vulnerable because I know what can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And so I guess the question to ask would be,
you keep on searching, right?
Barista?
Yes. That is my dream job. When this podcast hits, I don't know, like 1 million views and everything is good, you'll find me in a coffee shop, at your local coffee shop.
Yeah, at your local coffee shop, bringing smiles to people's faces. So
that's really my dream job.
That's really, no, absolutely. I have 100%. Your husband doesn't seem to.
But I support her in any way she wants to do, whatever she wants to do.
He's like,
there.
Babe, we have a mortgage.
Bringing those big bucks from the coffee shop. I'm happy.
So then the next question would be more about the youth speak, right? Because you're not the youngest in your family, you're not the oldest in your family, but you have older and younger people, and also heavily involved in community. The message for the younger, the ones who are just stuck in this constant loop of being in the internet, plugged in, the expectations of what they're supposed to be, just the life cycle of that. What's your message to them?
Number 1, be grateful.
Okay.
Number 2, enjoy with your loved ones. Go outside more. I know it's really hot right now, but still.
Just Texas. You're asking a lot here.
But still, I feel like we all need sunlight. We all need a little bit of, nature in our lives.
And she went to school for this, so you guys pay attention.
And also, just know that everything is not going to go as planned, because that was never even a thought in my head. Like, for me, it was like, oh, everything has to go as planned. I was a very, very like,
really?
No, man, this has to be done. This has to be done. This has, and just know that that everything won't go as planned, and that's okay.
Okay. That's very noble. Like, to live is to suffer, but to survive is to find some meaning with Friedrich Nietzsche. Gotta cite my sources. Why are you laughing at your husband? He's been making like these little side faces.
I'm not doing anything.
This entire podcast.
I'm enjoying everything. Y'all keep going.
No, and that's good. So, do you feel like it's more? Could you be more? Okay, to get through a hurdle in life, I know it requires a hodgepodge of many things, but do you feel like maybe strength is more important, or do you feel like maybe learning and kind of asking the question why is more important, or do you feel like stoicism need to play, or do you feel like no, maybe we should just go with the flow, see what happens? Like when hard times come, and I'm not talking about with what happened with your. I'm talking about in a general like life basis, on the days that your body aches and you just don't feel like getting up and it's just a tiring day. Do you tough it out, or do you try to reflect on why are you feeling?
So you for like your daily hurdles, you just have to find motivation.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to get up because I'm looking forward.
What's your motivation?
I think right now my motivation is my daughter. Like,
okay.
No matter how tired I am from work, no matter how sad or what's going on, you have to smile for her, right? Because she picks up.
Is that your newfound? Is she your newfound motivation, or like? Because I mean, what you've done is very accomplishing in your life, right? In the sense of like getting your bachelor's at 22. I mean, like I know some people who were working at the cleaners
normal,
at that time.
Right?
I'm not saying anyone in this room. I know someone, right? But I mean,
Go get yours.
Yeah, my interview is coming. But it's not easy to do what you've done, right? Because you say silver platter, but I'm looking at like, man, it's hard to sit down, look through a book, and study it. That's not easy to do, in my opinion. So it's like, why don't you give yourself more credit?
I mean, I just like I said, like I never really like. For me, all of this was very very natural. Like, I didn't have to think about it. You have a supportive family, you have everything, so it's like, hey, like, what do you want to do now that you want to be a nurse, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, and you just go for it. Like, I feel like I said, my life had been very like free of hurdles, free of stress, very easy, right? Some people don't get that opportunity, right? Like, some people, or they have to delay. But my life was like on a silver platter till this happened, right? Till I lost that. That's when I was like, oh, like, problems do exist.
Okay.
I was very I wasn't like, problem for me was like I don't know, like a vacation or something, like planning a vacation or something, or stuff like that. Like, I didn't really.
One thing I noticed about you and your husband.
Can you just closer and louder?
Closer, okay.
Yeah, and louder.
Louder, okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm seeing the.
Yes.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
That's producer's thing. Absolutely. So one thing I've noticed about you and your husband is that it's like everything was going more casually until a 4-year period where everything happened at once. You know what I mean? And that's why it's like you guys almost like fast tracked all the years that you feel like, oh, it was just tame. It was just going. And then you guys fast tracked everything where it's like marriage, house, cars, baby, boom, baby. You know what I mean? Like, that's in his words, right? You guys traveled the world, but it's like, why do you feel like this speed and acceleration, right? Because I know what he's trying to do, in the sense of like he wants to do something that makes him happy, which is podcasting, being more artistic, creative endeavors, right? And but what about you? First, talk about the fast track to life, and then talk about like what is your like.
So I feel like the reason why every fast track was because of me. Like, Noman is a very laid back person.
As he's laying back in his chair right now.
Literally. He's a very laid back person.
Closer and louder.
I wasn't. So when I met him.
Go getter.
Yeah, when I met him, I was like, Noman, like, what do you want to do? Like, what's the plan? And then, he didn't have much time to come up with the plan. And once he did, it was ready, set, go.
Yeah.
And after we got married, I was like, okay, like, like I am 28 right now. I want to have my first kid by the time I'm 30, 31.
Yeah.
So we need to travel.
Absolutely.
So
wow.
it was very like, what do you think, Noman? Like,
I mean, like I said in my podcast, my motivation was her.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that was my motivation.
She doesn't feel the same way. Her motivation.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And I know she doesn't. I knew the answer to that. So I don't feel bad.
Right.
But she was the motivation of everything, right? Like, just boom, boom, boom. Like,
so that's...
and still is, because at this point, I know you said my motivation is to do a podcast, be artistic.
Artistic.
Yeah. Well, is that what you just said that to me?
Artistic.
Yeah, what did I say?
Did he say autistic?
Yeah, I said artistic.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, he said artistic.
Yeah.
So let me tell you.
So my
Hold on. The universe gives to you what you need.
Yes.
Okay. He needed speed in his life because there was a period where he was very
going fast, not the
very latent, dormant, right? And I needed slowness. So I feel like
the tortoise and the hare.
Sure. Wouldn't you agree? Like, I was not the one who would sit down and read a book.
Yeah,
that wasn't me. So I feel like your partner should complete you.
Okay.
So I feel like I completed him in that regard, and he completed me.
Yeah. Okay.
I concur.
And you were saying?
No, I'm saying that my motivation is like literally still her.
Yeah.
But like, hey, a financially freedom family.
Right.
Like, I want her to be the barista that she wants to be. That dream job, right?
Absolutely.
And not worry about it. It's like, I want to do part-time today. I don't want to go into and make coffee for idiots. Whatever it is.
No, I feel like baristas have a very very big responsibility. Exactly.
Absolutely.
They keep everyone awake and happy. They prevent fights, feuds.
Hopefully one day I'll make, we'll buy a coffee shop and can run it.
Exactly.
I don't want to do that.
Franchise.
I don't want to do that.
You just want to make coffee.
I want to make coffee. I want to be on a payroll. I want to chill, talk to people. I don't want any other stress.
Good.
That's it.
You'll make like $120 a week.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
See, that's the financial freedom part, right? Like, you won't care about money at that point, right? You're just like, you're good. You're on autopilot.
Don't make us cancel you right now. If you want to be entertained, you can just go somewhere else. Like, we all know why you're doing this. No, absolutely. Well, I mean, this has been great. I we should do this. I like this way more than honestly, with them on.
We should do it with Rizzy next time.
You should interview Rizzy.
I will interview Rizzy.
Ooh.
Rizzy is so much fun.
He's a very interesting character.
Yes.
He can't say anything now.
And he has no mic.
and he's super, super intelligent.
This is very true. Rizzy's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. This man learned OBS in
I think
like
it comes
2 weeks.
from the progeny of Einstein.
I think so.
Like, if you do like a genetic test.
Yeah, you know how like Genghis Khan had like millions of kids? He's descendants of Einstein. He's already losing the hair like Einstein. I'm joking. He's like, oh, wait until this mic gets on me, then you're done for. No, but it's good. I mean, anyone else want to add anything? Do you feel like
yes, I do.
Please go.
So,
this is yours.
I would love to hear about your experience, if you have experienced or if you have received signs or revelations or anything that you want to tell me about your journey. Please tell me. I would love to hear
Camera's
about
over
it.
there.
Oh, okay. I was trying to see. But please tell me about it, because it will give me that reassurance, and I love receiving these reassurances.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, this has been the great I'm going to call her Bobby. Anam Bobby, who's just been amazing guest. Round of applause. Round of applause. There you go. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you.
Coming up from downstairs.
Yeah. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of a very special No Logic Game podcast. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button and comment down below. Last but not least, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and do with us. Do it one more time. Ring that bell icon so you can see what we're making next. Thank you so much again for watching, and we'll catch all of you in the next video. Bye everyone.